I would like to begin by addressing the heinous attack on the United States Capitol. Like all Americans, I am outraged by the violence, lawlessness, and mayhem. The demonstrators who infiltrated the Capitol have defiled the seat of American democracy. To those who engaged in the acts of violence and destruction, you do not represent our country. And to those who broke the law, you will pay.
A stark difference in President Trump's reaction to the January 6th insurrection. What you just heard was the president's reaction just days after the riot several years ago.
Well, today, more than 1,500 people, all charged in the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol back in 2021, have been pardoned. Full clemency was given to hundreds of people convicted of felony crimes, such as assaulting police and destruction of property. The pardons also apply to more than 730 people convicted of misdemeanor offenses in connection with January 6th. Finally, it paves the way for more than 24 defendants to be released from prison.
The president's pardons came just hours after President Biden issued preemptive pardons to several people, including members of his own family. Meanwhile, when it comes to January 6th, President Trump says prosecutors were guilty of using a double standard, comparing the riot at the Capitol with the 2020 riots here in Portland and in Seattle.
The Fox 12 Investigates team dug into the president's claims. Our own Ezra Kaplan joins us now in studio. Ezra, what exactly did the president say, and what did you learn?
Yeah, you know, he said that they had been treated unfairly and that when it came to the prosecutors, quote, there had been nothing ever like this.
They didn't do stuff wrong. You take a look at what went on, and look what happens in other parts of the country. In Portland, where they kill people, they destroy the city, nothing happens to them. In Seattle, where they took over a big chunk of the city, nothing happened. Minneapolis, where they burned down the city, nothing happened. Essentially nothing happened.
Now, Trump seems to be referring to the protests downtown around the summer of 2020. And it's no question that the unrest has had a lasting impact on the city, but it isn't correct to say that nothing happened to anybody. Law enforcement agencies referred almost 1,100 protest-related cases to the Multnomah County District Attorney. At the time, that was Mike Schmidt. 81% of those were rejected and never prosecuted, but 197 cases were prosecuted, and some of those found guilty are still sitting in jail today. For instance, an Indiana man who traveled to Portland for the protest was sentenced to 10 years in prison for throwing fireworks and Molotov cocktails. A Proud Boys member was sentenced to 10 years stemming from his violent participation in those August 2020 rallies. And a protester who was dressed in black at the time is serving nearly 6-year sentence for assault on a far-right attendee at a rally in 2019. And a 23-year-old who set a dumpster on fire near a police station in 2020 is currently serving a 5-year sentence. Now, according to an analysis of those arrested for the January 6th riot by the Associated Press, 86 people were charged with some sort of physical violence, and 238 were charged with assault. But with the swipe of a Sharpie last night in the Oval Office, almost all of them are now enjoying a presidential pardon. In studio, Ezra Kaplan, Fox 12 Oregon.